For 8 years, I hadn't spoken a single word. My fingers worked methodically through the palace laundry, scrubbing blood from the Alpha King's training clothes. The other Omegas chatted around me, their voices a constant hum I'd learned to tune out. They'd long since stopped trying to include me in their gossip. "Did you hear?" Maya whispered, nudging the girl beside her. "The king is hosting the claiming ceremony next month. Every unmated wolf in the kingdom must attend." My hands stilled for just a fraction of a second before resuming their rhythm. No one noticed. "Even her?" someone asked. I felt eyes on my back. "She's mute, not broken," Maya said with a shrug. "If the moon goddess wills it, even a silent Omega could be claimed." I kept my head down, my face carefully blank. Inside, my wolf stirred uneasily. "We can't go," she whispered in my mind. "He'll find us." "I know," I thought back. "We'll find a way." The claiming ceremony was exactly what I'd been hiding from since I was 16. The moment when unmated wolves were brought before potential mates, where bonds could snap into place with a single touch, a single scent, where someone could claim you and you'd have no choice but to accept. I pretended to be mute because a mute Omega was undesirable. Damaged goods, passed over again and again while other girls were chosen. It had worked perfectly until now. Chapter 2. The Alpha King. Theron Blacklaw hadn't wanted to be king. He stood in his private study, staring at the list of unmated wolves who would attend next month's ceremony. Hundreds of names. Hundreds of hopeful females who thought they might be his mate. He knew better. At 32, he'd long since given up on finding his fated mate. The mate bond was rare, precious, and apparently not meant for him. "Your Majesty." His beta Marcus entered without knocking. "The preparations are underway." "Cancel it," Theron said flatly. "You know I can't do that. The council can go to hell." Theron crumpled the list in his fist. "I won't parade myself like a prize bull while females throw themselves at me." "Then choose one and be done with it," Marcus said pragmatically. "Take a chosen mate. Produce an heir. Secure the bloodline." Theron's wolf snarled at the suggestion. A chosen mate, a political arrangement without the sacred bond, felt like a betrayal of something he'd never even had. "I need air," he muttered, striding toward the door. He shifted the moment he hit the tree line, his massive black wolf stretching into a run. The forest blurred around him as he pushed himself harder, faster, trying to outrun the suffocating weight of duty and expectation. That's when he caught it. A scent. Wild flowers and rain and something indefinably right. His wolf skidded to a halt, every instinct screaming at him to follow it. The scent was faint, old. Someone had passed through here hours ago, but it called to something primal in his chest. Mate. The word echoed through his mind like thunder. Theron shifted back to human form, his heart hammering. In all his years, he'd never felt anything like this. The pull was magnetic, undeniable. He followed the scent trail back through the forest, past the training grounds, past the guard barracks, straight to the servants' quarters behind the palace. His mate was here. Somewhere in his own damn palace, his mate had been living right under his nose, and he was going to find her. Chapter 3. The Hunt. I knew something was wrong the moment the Alpha King appeared in the laundry hall. The room fell silent. Every Omega dropped into a submissive bow, heads lowered, necks bared. I copied them, my heart racing. Kings didn't come to the servants' quarters, ever. "Stand," he commanded. We rose as one, but I kept my eyes down. I could feel his presence like a physical weight, his power filling the room and making my wolf whimper. "I'm looking for someone," he said, his voice deep and controlled. "A female. Her scent was in the forest near the eastern border. Oh, gods, I'd gone for a run last night, needing to let my wolf stretch her legs. I'd been so careful staying far from the palace, but I want every female in this room to step forward, one at a time. My blood turned to ice. He was scent tracking, looking for someone specific. If he got close enough to me, if he caught my scent. The first girl stepped forward nervously. The king barely glanced at her before dismissing her with a wave. The second, the same. He was working his way down the line systematically, and I was running out of time. Run, my wolf urged. We have to run. But running would only confirm his suspicions. I forced myself to remain still, to breathe slowly, to appear calm even as panic clawed at my throat. When my turn came, I stepped forward on shaking legs. The Alpha King's eyes met mine, brilliant gold, ancient and powerful, and the world stopped. The bond snapped into place like a rubber band pulled too tight, sudden and shocking and right. I felt it in my bones, in my blood, in every fiber of my being. Mate. His expression didn't change, but I saw his nostrils flare, saw his pupils dilate. He'd felt it too. What's your name? He asked quietly. I pointed to my throat and shook my head, my practiced gesture of helplessness. She's mute, Your Majesty, Maya supplied quickly. Has been since before she came to the palace. Her name is Sarah. The king's eyes never left mine. He took a step closer, and I forced myself not to retreat. Is this true? He asked me directly. You cannot speak? I nodded, letting my eyes go wide and innocent. For a long moment, he just studied me. Then his hand came up, and I thought he might touch me, but at the last second he pulled back. Interesting, he murmured. Then louder to the room, return to your duties. He left without another word, but I could feel his gaze burning into my back. I'd fooled him. For now. But the look in his eyes told me the Alpha King wasn't finished with me yet. Chapter 4. The Trap. Theron knew she was lying. He stood in his study, every instinct screaming that Sarah, the small, dark-haired Omega, who'd looked at him with those wide, innocent eyes, was his mate. The bond had crashed into him like a tidal wave, unmistakable and undeniable. But she'd felt it too. He'd seen the flash of recognition in her eyes, the barely concealed panic. And then she'd pretended to be mute. Marcus, he called. His beta appeared instantly. Your Majesty? The Omega girl, Sarah. I want everything you can find on her. Where she came from, how long she's been here, everything. Marcus's eyebrows rose. Is she... Just do it. An hour later, Marcus returned with precious little information. She arrived 8 years ago from the eastern provinces, recommended by a local pack after her family died in a rogue attack. She's been working in the laundry ever since. No incidents, no complaints. By all accounts, she's mute. By all accounts, Theron repeated. But you haven't actually verified it. The staff who hired her are long gone, Your Majesty. There's no medical record of her injury because she came from a rural pack without formal documentation. Convenient. Too convenient. Theron's wolf paced restlessly beneath his skin. His mate was hiding from him, had been hiding for years. The question was why. Set up a private dinner, he said slowly. Tell her the king requests her presence tonight. Alone. Your Majesty, that's highly irregular. I'm aware. Do it anyway. I received the summons an hour before sunset. The king requests your presence for dinner. Do not be late. My hands shook as I read the note. This was it. He was going to confront me, maybe force my hand, maybe... Breathe, my wolf urged. We've handled worse. Had we, though? In 8 years of hiding, I'd never faced a threat like this. The Alpha King wasn't some ordinary wolf I could avoid. He was the most powerful shifter in the kingdom, and now he knew I was his mate, and I still couldn't let him claim me. I dressed in my plainest servant's dress and made my way to the king's private dining room. My heart hammered with every step. Theron was waiting, dressed casually in dark pants and a loose shirt. He looked younger like this, less intimidating, until you met his eyes. "Sarah," he greeted me. "Please, sit." I obeyed, keeping my expression neutral. Dinner was already laid out: roasted meat, fresh bread, vegetables, and rich sauce. The smell made my mouth water, but I barely touched it. I was too focused on not giving myself away. "I'm curious," the king said conversationally. "How does a mute Omega end up working in the royal palace?" I pointed to my throat again, then made gestures that I hoped conveyed: I came here for safety after my family died. He took a sip of wine. "And in 8 years, no one has ever heard you make a sound? Not a gasp, not a cry, not even a laugh?" I shook my head firmly. "Not even," he continued, his eyes locking onto mine. "When you're running through the forest at midnight, alone under the full moon." My blood ran cold. "You see," he leaned back in his chair, "I have excellent hearing. And last night, when I was tracking that scent, your scent, I heard something else. A wolf, howling." My heart stopped. "A female wolf," he continued softly. "Running alone, free, vocal." I couldn't breathe. "So I'll ask you one more time, Sarah." He stood moving around the table with predatory grace. "Why are you pretending to be mute?" I shook my head desperately, maintaining the charade even as my world crumbled. "Fine," he said quietly. He was close now, so close I could feel the heat of him. "Then let me tell you what I think." He leaned down, his lips nearly brushing my ear. "I think you're hiding. I think you've been hiding for 8 years. And I think," his voice dropped to a rough whisper, "you felt the mate bond snap into place today, just like I did, and it terrified you." A traitorous tear slid down my cheek. "I'm not going to force you," Theron said, pulling back to look at me. "But I'm not going to let you keep running either. Tomorrow, you're going to tell me the truth. All of it." He stepped back, giving me space. "You can go. But Sarah?" He waited until I met his eyes. "Whatever you're running from, whoever you're hiding from, I'm the Alpha King, and no one takes what's mine." The possessiveness in his voice sent shivers down my spine. I fled from the room, my silence finally, truly feeling like a prison. Chapter 5. The Truth. I didn't sleep that night. By dawn, I'd made my decision. The Alpha King had found me. The bond was undeniable, and I was so tired of running. Maybe it was time to stop. I found him in his study at sunrise. He looked up when I entered, surprise flickering across his face. "I didn't expect you so early," he said. I closed the door behind me, my heart pounding. Then I took a deep breath. "My name," I said, my voice rough from 8 years of disuse, "is Seraphina Ashwood, and I'm not mute." The shock on his face was almost comical. 8 years ago," I continued, each word feeling strange and wonderful on my tongue, "my father tried to force me into a mate bond with a rival alpha. I was 16. The alpha was 40, cruel, and had already killed 2 mates, so I ran." Theron's expression darkened with every word. "I disguised myself, faked being mute, and hid in the one place no one would think to look, the servants of the royal palace, and it worked, until you." "Your father," Theron said, his voice dangerously quiet, "is he still looking for you?" "I don't know. Maybe. But the Alpha, his name is Mordecai Voss. He doesn't forget. Doesn't forgive. If he knew I was here, alive, unmated, I wrapped my arms around myself. He'd come for me. Let him try. The growl in Theron's voice made my wolf purr. He'll find I don't share well. Despite everything, I almost smiled. You don't even know me. I know enough. He crossed the room to stand before me. You're brave. You're a survivor. You've been hiding in plain sight for 8 years, and you're my mate. That bond is sacred, he finished, and I won't force you into it, but I won't let you run either. So here's what's going to happen. He took my hand, and the touch sent electricity racing through me. You're going to stay here under my protection. You're going to stop pretending to be someone you're not, and we're going to get to know each other as equals. No pressure, no expectations. And if Mordecai comes, Theron's smile was all teeth. Then he'll learn why I'm called the Alpha King. For the first time in 8 years, I felt safe enough to hope. Okay, I whispered. Okay, I'll stay. I squeezed his hand. But Theron, I need to do this my way. The bond, the claiming. I need time. Take all the time you need, he said softly. I've waited 32 years for you. I can wait a little longer. And as the sun rose over the palace, I finally let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, I'd found something worth stopping for. The end. Epilogue. 6 months later. The claiming ceremony came and went. I stood beside Theron, not as a claimed mate yet, but as his acknowledged partner, learning to trust, to love, to be myself again. Mordecai Voss did come, eventually. He came with threats and demands, and an army. He left with nothing but broken bones and a warning. Touch the queen and face the consequences. Because by then I'd accepted the bond, accepted Theron, accepted myself, and I was finally truly free.